it's all going to come together. In terms of your second thrust, a vibrant society, the values, the culture, the synergies, I think the only difference that you and us have, is the thobe, and I have one at home. I was just telling His Excellency. So there you go. So behind the thobe, we are the same people culturally. You want Islamic values, we want family values. Our family values are what values? They're Muslim Islamic values. It's the same thing. You want a certain kind of vibrant cities. We have the northern areas where the families would be as comfortable as my family would be in Riyadh. So bring your families, go to these mountains that we just showed in the video, and that would be the cultural exchange, that would be the societal exchange, the vibrant society, a new fabric that we can jointly weave. And from our perspective, as you would hear from SIFC, as you've heard from our Minister of Finance, and as you would hear from my boss, the Deputy Prime Minister, you would hear this. We are going to cut through the red tape and lay out a red carpet. That's our theme. You've already digitized. You're already creating a digital ecology. So everything comes together. Our vision, your vision, our vision together, it all converges as we move forward. We have a very clear strategy to do this, and I'd lay this out for you very quickly. First and foremost, we would leverage the assets that we already have. You know that we have mining resources, and you know that there is an electrification revolution brewing in the world. And the backbone of this electrification revolution is going to be copper. And we're probably the 6th or 7th richest country in terms of copper. And there's no electrification revolution without copper. And you have the biggest clusters of smelting in Saudi Arabia. You take this raw material, you smelt it, and we jointly move it downstream, and we've all plugged into this great revolution of electrification. So we leverage. You have the world's largest resources of crude, and we have a growing population and a stable economy which is poised to grow at 4 to 5%. So all of these crude resources we can lock into, from crude to chemical, from crude to liquids, a great opportunity. And you are digitizing, not just within Saudi Arabia, but creating a global footprint in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of machine learning. And what do we have? We have engineering schools. We have more engineers than we can accommodate at a price which is unmatchable across the world. So we leverage these resources together to plug into global value chains. That's our first strategic thrust. And we open up new markets. In order for us to open these new markets, to build this economic highway, we need infrastructure. We need road infrastructure, we need rail infrastructure, we need port infrastructure. And what is the expertise that Saudi truly, if you look at, I always tell people, you go to Saudi Arabia, the kingdom, and you would see a revolution of capital investments the world has never seen. If you look at the transition of the kingdom over the past 20, 25, 30, 35 years, the history of mankind has never seen any revolution of infrastructure like the kingdom has put together over the past few decades. So with that kind of expertise in infrastructure and this kind of need of infrastructure, you put this together and you get all the answers. So we have the infrastructure both to unleash our mining resources, but also to tap into new Central Asian markets. A whole new economy which is sitting out there. And finally, as I mentioned, we've already moved towards security, and you would see through the day, through the course of the day, you would see food security, you would see health security, you would see pharmaceutical investments, you would see joint programs, physician exchanges, educational exchanges. So you're going to see all of that, what I call 360 security. And we've already spoken about the culture. These are the 13 strategic sectors that Vision 2030 has highlighted. And right now, all of the programs that we are putting together, they would seamlessly plug into the sectors that you've already highlighted. We want to build synergy. So you would see today that we've already highlighted 7 to 8 sectors, and we have 35 value propositions in these sectors that you've highlighted. So we're putting in front of you things and directions in which you already want to go. Nothing new. And these are exactly the sectors, whether it be healthcare and pharmaceuticals, whether it be financial services and the role that we can play in terms of back end, whether it be consumer goods and retail. Right now, when you look at Neom City or when you look at other grand projects, what do they need? They need construction materials. And when you walk into the northern areas of Pakistan and you see mountains, what do you think these mountains are? These are construction materials. They're granite, they're marble, they're all construction materials. And finer construction material than you would get from Italy at a price which is a fraction. So businessmen sitting here, they know exactly what to do with that. And that's exactly the direction in which we want to go. And this is the criteria, Your Excellency, based upon our last conversation. And based upon the conversation you have seen from our finance minister and what you're going to hear from my boss, you will see that we're going to titrate every single project that we put in front of you against these evaluation criteria, against investment returns, risks, capabilities, strategic and innovation and technology. And in the teasers that we've put together, and you have the booklet, you would see the first cut of these evaluation criteria. You will find the high-level information. On every value proposition, you'd find elements of these criteria in the teaser. And when our businessmen and your businessmen, they join hands and they sit together and sign NDUs, you would begin to see the details of all of this information. These are the projects. You have the teasers. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. But all of these areas are the areas that you've already highlighted in Vision 2030. Our success, your success, jointly together would bring about a revolution. And I'm confident that we'd be able to participate in it and make a success of it. And in order to make a success of it, as our Chief of the Army Staff yesterday also mentioned, we've put together SIFC. When we say from red tape to red carpet, what we mean is SIFC. What used to happen in a year now happens in a month. Very soon, it will happen in a week. We've put together a strategy which is going to de-risk you. And right now, we've hired the best-in-class people to take these ideas, to take these teasers, and make them very detailed value propositions through process of due diligence and business plans. I'm sure we'll succeed, but only if you hold our hands. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Excellency, and Excellency Musaddiq Masood Malik, for your enlightening views. And obviously, the motto is, the idea is to create synergies between both our countries, whereby our visions can be actualized by leveraging our assets, building infrastructure, ensuring food security, and sharing cultures. You also identified 13 strategic sectors for the Vision 2030, whereby we need to build synergies. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move on, I would now like to request Excellency Waleed Al-Murshid, the Head of International Finance Corporation in Saudi Arabia, to please come up and give a presentation on supporting cross-border investments. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Waleed Al-Murshid, the Head of International Finance Corporation in Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellency, thank you for giving us the opportunity to present IFC supporting cross-border investment between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. I have my colleague Zishan, head of Pakistan office, to introduce himself.
Is this working? Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Zishan. I head IFC for Pakistan and Afghanistan. We're grateful, Waleed and I, to have an opportunity to talk to you a little about the way IFC views investment opportunities cross-border between Saudi and Pakistan. And the reason we're happy to have this opportunity is both Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are strategically critical countries for us. These are countries where we have significantly stepped up our engagement. And a big part of our role as a development institution is to promote cross-border investments by credible private groups in Saudi Arabia into Pakistan, but also credible Pakistani groups into Saudi Arabia. And that's really the crux of what we're going to present. We only have a few slides. Happy to then answer any questions later on. Waleed, do you want to kick us off?
Yes, we will talk today about IFC, International Finance Corporation, MEGA, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. I mean, since IFC started in 1956, we invested over 400 billion US dollar. Our focus is manufacturing, agribusiness service, financial institution group, infrastructure, trade and funds. And we are not only providing loans, but we participate in equity, mobilization, blended finance, upstream, structure finance, and trade finance. Also, we provide advisory, and it is very important in our region, providing PPP privatization, environment, corporate governance, social and environment, gender, and climate. This is some of the partners of companies. Okay.
Just if you go to the last slide. Is this working? Yeah. Just to give you a sense of numbers. So IFC is the largest global multilateral that is focused entirely on investment in private sector. On average, we invest roughly around $55 billion across developing countries in the world. We only invest in developing countries. In Pakistan, we invested over $2 billion last year. And the idea really is to scale up what we do, not just in other countries around the world, but also in Pakistan. We'll talk a little more about what we're doing in Pakistan in the subsequent slides.
Yes. This is some of the partners that we worked with in Saudi, in Pakistan, and globally. I'll just highlight some of these companies, like Aqua Power. IFC worked over 10 years with Aqua Power, financed them in many countries, and we participate in equity. I'll give other example, Mara'i, Saudi German Hospital, and etc. But one of the things that we established many companies in Saudi, and it was the first company. Example of Saudi Home Loan, this is the first housing finance company over 15 years. And His Excellency Minister Mossadegh, he was part of us to advise us on establish the first housing finance company. You want to talk about some
I think
examples?
you covered the Saudi partners. Just to emphasize the fact that for us, supporting private sector, whether in the country of destination, whether that's in Pakistan or in Saudi, or bringing in global players, is a core part of our strategy. So the top left-hand corner is global companies that we in countries, and the companies at the bottom are in.
I mean, just to highlight what is our priority in Saudi. Cross-border investment, South-South investment. We worked recently with over 60 companies in Saudi Arabia help them expand their investment cross-board, and we invested over $4 billion US. And also we focus on selective transactions that is first of a kind, like housing finance, insurance, leasing, and we do advisory, especially PPP, SMEs, corporate governors, and I will just highlight like first airport, Medina Airport, first private airport in GCC. This is done almost over 10 years ago, first health project, and overall it's a very profitable market for IFC Saudi Arabia, and it's a priority. And now I will ask my colleagues, Zishan, to take over to talk about Pakistan.
Thank you, Waleed. So just to give you a little bit of an overview on what we've been doing in Pakistan and how we view things going forward. So IFC has been active in Pakistan for over 50 years. We've invested in pretty much every sector of significance in Pakistan over the years. We've invested through all sort of cycles over the years, and we continue to grow our engagement in the country. Our experience in Pakistan overall has been positive. And there are two lessons we've learned from our engagement in Pakistan in particular, but also in developing countries. One, if you have a long-term view on the opportunities in Pakistan, the fundamentals of Pakistan, there is significant value to be generated from investments. As Waleed said, we have invested in equity and in debt across the country. We measure returns on our equity in dollar terms. We are profitable in Pakistan over the last 20, 25 years in terms of return on equity. That is despite some of the devaluation and other issues. That gives you a sense of the value that can be generated here. The second lesson we've learned is the importance of good partnership. And if there is one message, I'd like to leave with colleagues from Saudi, is identifying the right partners who are in it for the right values and the right vision that you have. For us, that has probably been the single most important lesson of investing successfully in Pakistan. And that is an area we can help. We have significant presence here in the country with Waleed and our growing office in Riyadh. Obviously, we have significant connectivity in Saudi. We consider it part of our role to help credible businesses on both sides connect. Just to give you a sense of some of the things we've been doing, so we've been involved in several firsts in Pakistan on the infrastructure side, energy, LNG, transport side, financial sector, etc. We have grown our portfolio in Pakistan about 3.5 times in the last 2.5 years. And that is despite the relatively challenging 2.5 years that Pakistan has had. And the reason we have done that is because we believe in the long-term potential of Pakistan, and we learn from the experience we've had here over the years. Our annual commitments in Pakistan, which in 2022 were about $500 million, are now close to $2 billion, and we expect that number to go up going forward. If you go to the next slide, I'll only pick out a few things in terms of the sectors that we see as opportunities and are actively engaging in. Many of those have been highlighted by earlier ministers who spoke. We see the opportunity that exists in realizing Pakistan's export potential. It is a sector that is underrepresented by the private sector here. So for us, a key area of support is businesses that are in manufacturing that are looking to export. We are also very much focused on the climate and sustainability agenda. Anything on energy, transmission, distribution, transport, ports. We're also now very actively involved in the mining sector, particularly in copper, as was mentioned earlier. So for us, we see a number of opportunities across the infrastructure space as well as in the manufacturing space, where our focus is very much on enhancing competitiveness of Pakistani private businesses and realizing their export potential. And a lot of the time, again, in terms of our learning of being here in the market, is businesses here have capital, but are keen on access to foreign know-how. That is something that Saudi corporates who have exposure to other parts of the world can bring, so there is a lot of synergy that can be generated between the technical expertise and the capital that may come from Saudi groups with the Pakistani companies here that have ambitions to grow. So that's all on in terms of IFC. I wanted to just spend 2 minutes on MIGA. As you saw in the first slide, there are two parts of the World Bank Group that are relevant to private sector engagement. One is IFC, that provides financing, provides advice to private groups. The second is MIGA. MIGA is essentially an entity that provides risk insurance for foreign investors coming into developing markets. And there are a number of typical risks they cover. The three main categories are political risk insurance, credit enhancement, and then trade finance. Within political risk insurance, there is insurance for transfer restriction and convertibility, expropriation, war, civil disturbance. In credit enhancement, probably the most powerful tool that MIGA has is called non-honoring of sovereign obligations. And then the final one is on trade finance. These are very important covers that foreign companies, whether they're coming into Pakistan or other developing countries, can take advantage of. It provides them comfort. And again, MIGA has been active in Pakistan for several years. MIGA has a history of supporting almost $1.8 billion of FDI outside of Saudi going into developing countries. So we're again very happy to facilitate that dialogue for Saudi companies, foreign investors looking to come into Pakistan and provide the adequate cover that they need. I think we'll bring our presentation to a close. Thank you again for the opportunity. Again, very happy to support the initiative, both on the Saudi side as well as on the Pakistan side, to increase private sector to private sector engagement. Please consider us as a partner in this.
I mean,
thank you.
Finally, I would like to thank His Excellency Engineering Khalid Al-Faleh for his support for IFC and making this happening. And we assure you that our team in Riyadh and in Islamabad ready for Saudi companies or Pakistani company for any support that they need. Whenever they need, we are available. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much, Excellency Waleed Al-Murshid, the head of International Finance Corporation in Saudi Arabia, assisted by Mr. Zishan. And you mentioned that IFC has invested about $2 billion in Pakistan in the last year, and I'm sure there are many more to follow, given the kind of right potential which is there for investment in Pakistan going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have another presentation, and for that I would like to call upon Excellency Thamer Al-Shetri from Exim Bank of Saudi Arabia. Please welcome Excellency Thamer Al-Shetri from Exim Bank of Saudi Arabia. I would now like to request him to kindly come up and share his presentation in today's forum.
Your Excellencies, the Prime Minister, Your Excellency Engineer Khalid Al-Faleh, Excellencies, the Ministers, the Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Actually, it's my first visit to Pakistan, but even though I feel home, I would like to quote what His Excellency Khalid Al-Faleh said yesterday. We are sharing the same values, the same faith, and even the same culture. And I hope that we will share a bright future in front of us because of the bright plans that we both have in front of us. I would like to speak about the Saudi Exim Bank, but speaking about this entity, extending to speak about the vision of Saudi Arabia, because the Saudi Exim Bank just started 4 years ago with the spirit of the Saudi vision. Actually, 7 or 8 years ago from now, we established, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman established the Saudi Vision 2030, which is the second wave toward the future for the Saudi economy. We are changing the composition of the Saudi economy. In the 70s, it was the first wave of the Saudi economy. The oil price at that time was booming, so we established many funds and many companies and many entities that helped us at that time to be rich at this time. We hope that this plan, which is one of the most developed plan for the future in the Saudi and even the region in general, will help us toward the future to be a well-diversified economy with a rich and wealthy assets. We hope that we will synergize our plan with what is going on here in Pakistan. Speaking of the Saudi Exim Bank, Saudi Exim Bank is a financial institution started to provide credit solutions for the financial institution and for the private sector to help them to access to liquidity to import goods or services from Saudi Arabia. We are part of the National Development Bank, National Development Fund, which is a fund that we established to group all of the incentives that we help in Saudi Arabia. We are even under the Vision 2030 through the NIDLIB, the National Industrial Development and Logistic Program, which was headed by His Excellency Khalid Al-Faleh. As I mentioned, our goal is to help the Saudi to diversify our economy aside from oil. So we are helping the Saudi exporter and even the importer from outside of Saudi Arabia to import from Saudi goods and services. In general, we are working to maximize the economic impact of Saudi Arabia by working hand in hand with our clients to achieve the financial stability of the bank and even for the economy in general by applying the best practice that is used in the international market in general. We are categorize all of our clients into two categories. The first one is the financial institutions. We are working hand in hand with them. We specialize a product for them called the line of credit and other product which is coming in the pipeline. It will help us and them to co-finance the financing for the trade in general. And the other category of the clients we are providing is the private sector. We are providing them with very competitive loan that they can utilize to import from Saudi Arabia. This is the most important slide in my presentation, which is categorizing all of the products that we are providing across all of the beneficiaries from the clients. We could see that our product is for all of three categories, and they all come beneficiaries from it. This is the main products that we have. It's categorized into two groups, the financing group and the insurance group. The financing group, we have a line of credit, which is our flagship product, where every private sector in any country could access to a capital in their local banks, where they can import from Saudi Arabia. The other thing is, the other pillar of our category is the insurance pillar, where we help the private sector to invest wisely by utilizing the insurance product we offer in Saudi Exim Bank, which is, we do it co-insurance with many international institutions around the world. Okay, this is the most the categories we are focusing on. It's covering all of the product that we are providing in Saudi Arabia, and not only the product, even the services. The way how to apply to our product is very easy. Just go through our website, and you will find, you just with few clicks, you will find a dedicated team that will help you directly. Thank you very much. I would like to thank you for your patience, and I hope that it will be a second, not the first cooperation between Saudi and Pakistan in general. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency Tamer Al-Shetri, representing Exim Bank of Saudi Arabia. And obviously, the main priority of Exim Bank is to facilitate trade and provide security for exporters, which is rightly being done. And obviously, you would like to capitalize on the potential that Pakistan is offering in terms of investments. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Abdul Aleem Khan, the Federal Minister for Investment, to come and address this August gathering. Please welcome His Excellency Mr. Abdul Aleem Khan, the Federal Minister for Investment.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Deputy Prime Minister of Pakistan, Senator Ishaq Dar Sahab, the Honorable Minister for Investment, Brother Khalid bin Abdullah Al Faleh, my fellow cabinet members, the esteemed delegation members, distinguished guests, good morning and Assalamu Alaikum. Being one of the last speakers, it's a great privilege, because when I came in the morning, I had a speech of like 10-20 pages. Now, after the speeches of my brothers, I am left with at least 1 or 2 pages. So, especially after the speech of my brother, the elder brother, Dr. Professor Musaddiq Malik, I have hardly anything to say, but I would still try to say something. It's my great honor to welcome you, sir, Your Excellency, and your esteemed delegation to Pakistan. I would like to thank the leadership of Saudi Arabia for extending invaluable support and assistance to Pakistan whenever Pakistan needed. The government of Pakistan and the people of Pakistan deeply appreciate the support provided by the kingdom during all these years. We are especially grateful to the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, His Majesty, the King Salman bin Abdulaziz, and His Royal Highness, Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The people of Pakistan pray for His Majesty's good health and long life. I am very pleased at the ongoing discussion between the government entities within the framework of Saudi-Pakistan Joint Task Force. I hope that your government and private sector delegates will have the opportunity to take forward some of these discussions during this visit. I am also confident that with the institutional and policy reforms that we have introduced, more Saudi investors will be encouraged to invest in Pakistan. I would like to congratulate the team of both sides for B2B MOUs and agreements which will be signed during this visit. The ongoing discussions, exchanges of visits, Saudi Arabia's commitment towards strengthening economic engagements within Pakistan, I'll highly appreciate it. I hope this forum provides a unique opportunity to build deeper commercial ties between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. We invite Saudi businesses to explore the wide range opportunities of investment Pakistan has to offer. The government of Pakistan through SIFC, Board of Investment, Ministry of Privatization, is fully committed to support and facilitate foreign investors in every sector. Together, we can create a future where economic cooperation between our nations drive mutual growth and prosperity. In the end, I am grateful to everyone who took time out, came here, and participated in today's forum. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency Mr. Abdul Aleem Khan, the Federal Minister for Investment. He is also heading the privatization and the communication portfolios in the government of Pakistan. The whole of the Saudi delegation, on behalf of the government of Pakistan, we are honored and pleased on your visit. And Pakistan is known for its hospitality. And of course, now you know the other side, which is the investment opportunities, the investment potential that our great country has to offer to the world. I would now like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Khalid bin Abdul Aziz Al Faleh, the Minister of Investment, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to kindly come up and address this august gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Khalid bin Abdul Aziz Al Faleh, the Minister of Investment, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Excellency.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Your Excellency, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ishaq Dar, Your Excellency, Honorable Ministers, members of the Cabinet of Pakistan, the ones who spoke so warmly and so eloquently, and indeed in a very convincing way, about a great value proposition that is standing in front of us and is ours to lose, and inshallah we will not lose it, given the vision and the determination of our leaders, of our people, and of our great, vibrant private sectors and investors from both sides, who I am honored to be with in this Saudi delegation, and to have the opportunity to interact and meet with our colleagues and partners from the Pakistani side. Let me thank everyone who spoke about the warm welcome. And I can tell you, we felt the warmth of the Pakistani friendship. We felt the bond just as the door of our airplane opened last night, before we felt even the warmth of the air of Pakistan. And we have been embraced with open arms, open hearts, every second of our presence here, like every time we come to Pakistan. This is not my first visit. I've been here quite a few times, and every time we come, we see that Pakistan is not a second home. It is indeed just another very close home to us, and we are not amongst friends, we're amongst family. Let me start by conveying, not just to the honorable members of the Pakistani cabinet who are with us today and the parliamentarians, but to the entire Pakistani population, the warmest greetings from the leadership of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, and His Royal Highness, Crown Prince, Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz, who hold Pakistan in the highest regard. as a strategic partner, a cultural partner, a country like no other in terms of the bond that has united us for as long as history can chronicle. Of course, the modern relationship of Saudi Arabia and Pakistan has its roots from the founding of Pakistan. Saudi Arabia was with the Pakistani people as they created their own nation in 1947. And soon after that, we entered into a treaty of partnership in 1951. So very soon we will be marking 75 years since the entry into that treaty. But Saudi Arabia and Pakistan need no agreements, no treaties. We are united, we are bonded, we are connected. Our Islamic relationship and our spiritual relationship have been created 1400 years ago with the advent of Islam, and the Muslim people in this region were one of the first to enter into Islam, and all of us studied early in our childhood how the people of the Sindh Valley embraced Islam so passionately, and we continue to see it. We see it in Saudi Arabia with over 2.5 million Pakistanis who are supporting our country, who are making Saudi Arabia tick with their contribution in every aspect of our economy and our society. We see it in over 160,000 Pakistanis who participate every year in Hajj. We see it in over 1.8 million people who travel to Saudi Arabia for Umrah every year, and in a way fuel that bond that unites our people. I am grateful that after our arrival last night, we saw that warmth and that bond and that reception from the top of the leadership of Pakistan. The Honorable President of Pakistan, Asif Ali Zardari, who is traveling today to a foreign destination, insisted on receiving us late in the evening last night and spent a good amount of time impressing on us his own personal belief and commitment to the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, and that Pakistan is always there for Saudi, and that he sees the potential, the complementarity, the synergies, the great value proposition that each of our country makes available to each other if only we would realize it. And he called on all of us today to work towards that common objective. We spent a good amount of time with the Honorable Chief of the Army Staff General Sayyid Asim Munir Shah, and he spoke also from the heart, as well as from the mind, as well as expressing in numbers that are very, very compelling, what the value proposition to the Saudi private sector from partnering with Pakistan. And he expressed his commitment that he will see to it that all matters of red tape will indeed be replaced with a red carpet treatment for Saudi investment. And he recalled how he and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman saw to it to create this special one-stop shop, special single window, this special bureaucracy elimination mechanism, the Special Investment Facilitation Council, SIFC, which many of the honorable members of the cabinet are also members of and are seeing through that mechanism, as well as the other reforms that are undertaken by the Honorable Prime Minister, will undertake to make Pakistan not only one of the highest return investment destination, but one that is low risk, very much financeable, bankable, and attractive for Saudi investors. And the Honorable Prime Minister will be speaking to the Saudi delegation later this evening and will be presiding over an exchange of agreements and MOUs totaling 27 that will be signed throughout the day. Many of them have already been negotiated and agreed and will be announced today, over $2 billion. And these are very much organic agreements that have been reached without the strong facilitation that we're embarking on. I'm happy to hear what the ministers have said. I'm happy about the efforts of the Ministry of Commerce and its commitment to increase the trade. Trade between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan has already increased significantly by 80%, from $3 billion in 2019, $3 billion US dollars, to $5.4 US dollars. We are also reasonably encouraged by the number of Pakistani investment licenses that have also more than doubled in the last couple of years, reaching 2,000 Pakistani investors in Saudi Arabia. And the FDI stock in Saudi Arabia of Pakistani investment is already exceeding 1.6 US dollars. We are committed to and extremely encouraged by the announcement by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince committing the front end of Saudi investment into Pakistan, which is $5 billion. This was announced during the visit of the Honorable Pakistani Prime Minister when he, Shahbaz Sharif, when he visited a week or two after he was appointed in his role after the election. And there was a meeting in Mecca, essentially within the confines of Haram al-Sharif. Honorable Finance Minister and others were there wearing their ihram thobes, and I was also honored to be there, and we saw the warmth, the mutual commitment from both leaders, and that what I call the front end of Saudi investment was committed. And of course the PIF has a leading role. I am glad that we have the PIF represented with us in strength here in this delegation, not only representing the PIF, but also bringing many of the PIF portfolio companies, which is going to be spearheading the Saudi investments, including Aqua, including Aqua Power and renewable energy, including Manara in minerals. And I think these numbers, in my opinion, are only the tip of the iceberg. I think the limits, there are essentially no limits to what Saudi Arabia and Pakistan can do in the economic sphere, just like there are no limits to our friendship, to our bonds, to our historic relations, to our political relations at the highest level, from the days Saudi Arabia and Pakistan were created in the last century to many, many centuries in the future. I think it's been mentioned by our dear Pakistani partners. They have spoke about Saudi Arabia better than I would be able to speak about Saudi Arabia. And that again illustrates the kind of bond and complementarity that we have together. But let me say that Vision 2030 is not only doing well, it's actually ahead of schedule, and we're moving to start thinking about the next phase of envisioning the future. And the future of Saudi Arabia is going to be one of prosperity, it's going to be one of empowerment of the people of Saudi Arabia, empowerment of our private sector and our companies, of which we're very, very proud, and many of them are with us today, over 50 companies that have been breaking their schedules and their commitments elsewhere to be in this delegation, to be here in Pakistan this week. But Vision 2030, and this is the key point about Vision 2030, I want to say, is also about extending our prosperity to our partners and to our friends and to the countries that we need as much as they need us. Because no single country, no matter how rich, no matter how strong financially, can compete in the global world we live in today. You need demographics, you need large markets, you need human resources, in addition to capital. And Pakistan and Saudi Arabia together provide that complementarity, provide that scale. But you also need geographic reach, and we see that Pakistan is uniquely positioned geographically with your location, extending from the Arabian Sea all the way into the heart of Asia, Central Asia, China, all of the Caspian countries, are markets and resources that are available to Saudi investors to reach through partnering with our Pakistani friends. In terms of what we can do together, I think first and foremost, we want to support Pakistan continuing on its economic stabilization. Without Pakistan reaching its economic stability, it's very difficult to do things together. What has been done in the short period, the last 2 years, is quite impressive, Your Excellency, Minister of Finance. And we think it's only the beginning, because once the momentum is created, there is no stopping you, and Saudi Arabia has been and will continue to be your partner to achieve that economic stability. A key element for the private sector from Saudi Arabia to contribute to is substituting exports that we are getting from other markets to more valuable, higher quality, and indeed lower cost exports from our brotherly nation of Pakistan. And we heard from the leaders yesterday not only about the mining and the natural resources, the granite, the marble, the building materials, where Saudi Arabia is the largest construction site in the world, make no mistake about it. And we will be, in the next few years, awarding construction and material procurement contracts reaching about $1.8 trillion US. Last year, the value of construction and EPC procurement, including materials, was $150 billion. This year, it's 180. It will be about $200 billion annually of contract and material procurement awards year after year. Unfortunately for us, but in a way, fortunately for our partners here in Pakistan, a lot of the input into those contracts is going to be imported. And we want it to be imported from Pakistan, all things being equal. In fact, we will compromise a little bit to make it come from Pakistan. So a great opportunity. Beyond trade, I think investing jointly in Saudi Arabia, investing in Pakistan, investing in third countries that are adjacent to Pakistan is an area that As I mentioned earlier, with no limits. We see energy as a natural. The kingdom has been and will continue to be the kingdom of energy, the global leader in conventional energy. We're investing, continuing to invest in oil and gas, and His Excellency Minister Mossadegh mentioned oil to chemicals is a big area for growth, and we want Pakistan as a big market for chemicals to also participate with us. But the big area of growth, the new area of growth in energy for us is renewable energy. Solar, wind, hydrogen, green ammonia, green methanol, not only for the consumption of your large population and what is starting to be a vibrant, high-growth economy here in the heart of Asia, but we hope that we will allow Pakistan to also export this green energy given the endowment you have. Mining and minerals, as mentioned already last night and today, is truly quite significant. Electrification is already sweeping the global economy. Saudi Arabia is committed to it. All of our auto manufacturing sector is centered around EVs and electrification. We have, given our position, it's quite remarkable, given that we are the kingdom of oil, we are the global leader in terms of reserves, resources, production, exports in oil. We have bypassed the internal combustion engine and the diesel engine and leapfrogged straight into electric vehicle. That means that not only are we going to consume those EVs in Saudi, we're going to export them, but also we see the electrification sweeping the world. We see the demand on high voltage cables for transmission across borders and within countries. And we see that happening in Asia, from Pakistan all the way to Central Asia, where there is a lot of capped electric production that needs to be exported. But the unlock for that, as mentioned, is going to be copper, aluminum, and cable manufacturing. And this is one of those areas that we can't wait to work together to unlock for Pakistan, for Saudi Arabia, and indeed for the global economy. I am glad that we have with us a newly formed joint venture, Manara, between PIF and Ma'aden, our national champion in mining, and they are eager to start a number of initiatives in mining, but the first one we hope to conclude in the next few weeks will be for them to enter into the Reko Diq project with the state-owned enterprises of Pakistan and Barrick Gold, who is working in Saudi Arabia and sees our partnership as additive to the project. And I think this is just sort of a pilot project that we hope will be multiplied many times over. We see ICT as a huge area where Pakistan has a near unlimited potential. The key ingredient for ICT is human talent, and we believe in Pakistani talent. We have seen them in Saudi Arabia since the modern Saudi Arabia started bringing global human resources. Pakistanis were one of the first to come to Saudi Arabia and create Aramco through their human resources. Pakistani expertise was there early for our banking sector, and as Mossadegh mentioned, even as consultants and subject matter experts, he mentored me and taught me. He was very humble when he called me his boss. He was actually telling me how to build an industrial cluster in Saudi Arabia, and we took his advice, and we're very proud that our industrial sector is one of the fastest growing, the most competitive, certainly in the region, and we aspire for it to be a global manufacturing and industrial powerhouse in Saudi Arabia. We're looking to make Saudi Arabia the hub for global supply chain resilience, not just to meet domestic and regional, but global. And we want to do that by leveraging what you have in Pakistan. And I talked about mining, I talked about energy. We certainly want to leverage your human resources and your ICT sector. We have coined our reshoring initiative in Saudi Arabia as green shoring, to bring that green energy, and I think we can extend that concept to Pakistan if we can employ the Saudi companies that are active in renewable energy generation to embed it in some of the mining resources that have been mentioned, given that Pakistan, I understand, could be the 4th richest country in copper. So ICT, from manufacturing of components to software development, cloud computing, AI, data processing hub. Of course, food security has been brought to the fore with the recent conflict in Europe. The Russia-Ukraine war, I think, reminded the rest of the world that food security is a global issue. And it's certainly an issue in Saudi Arabia, where for generations we've been enjoying imports of Pakistani grains, especially Peshawar rice from my childhood. I remember it was our favorite food stock. Of course, meats and poultry, aquaculture and fishing, and the list goes on. We believe Pakistan, as we heard yesterday from the Honorable Chief of Army Staff, can become again the hub for global food security, not just for the Arabian Peninsula. Saudi Arabia is investing heavily in global acquisition and global direct investment from Latin America to Europe, Ukraine, Africa, and we're investing, of course, in South Asia and Central Asia, and we would love for Pakistan to be a key hub for agriculture, food processing, value add, and export to third countries. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister, these are only a few examples of what I see as low-hanging fruits, continuing with the food metaphor, and really ready for us to grab and turn into opportunities, to increase the confidence that thousands of other Saudi companies need to have to come with the 50 companies that came with me today. And we need to also create a highway that brings the great capabilities of Pakistan and the Pakistani people to continue what they are doing in Saudi Arabia, not only contributing to the Saudi Arabia of the future that we're building with Vision 2030, with their human talent, but also to bring the capability of Pakistani enterprises. And for them, from both sides, I can tell you in no uncertain terms, and I've heard it repeatedly from the leadership, from my boss, from the leadership of Pakistan last night, and the Prime Minister during his visits to Saudi Arabia in March and in May when he came for the World Economic Forum special meeting. Both governments are committed to allow, to permit, to facilitate for the private sector to take its due position as the locomotive that will be pulling both economies, both governments, both leaders, everybody on the government side of both nations sees that the private sector is the driver of our respective economies today, and certainly will be more so in the future. So you can count on us to be right there with you, behind you, supporting you to make the opportunities that are right there for you to grab. And once again, I say there is no limit. The sky is the only limit to what we can do together. So thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Excellency Mr. Khalid bin Abdul Aziz Al Faleh, the Minister of Investment, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for your kind words. And as you mentioned, that sky is the limit when it comes to the investment potential of Pakistan. Excellency, you mentioned that Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are not dependent on any agreements or treaties to bond together. Indeed, we are united by the band of brotherhood, by the spiritual Islamic values that we share. Pakistan has one of the highest expat workforce working in the construction sector in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, contributing to the growth of Saudi Arabia. And you mentioned specifically in detail all the investment opportunities that are available in Pakistan, and that shows that Pakistan is indeed a bankable investment destination for Saudi Arabia. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to call upon Senator Muhammad Ishaq Dar, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, to kindly come up and deliver the keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly welcome Senator Muhammad Ishaq Dar, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasoolil Kareem. Excellency, Minister for Investment, Engineer Khalid bin Abdul Aziz Al Faleh, Honorable Vice Minister Investment and members of the delegation from Saudi Arabia, Honorable Cabinet colleagues, worthy National Coordinator SIFC, government officials, Pakistani business leaders, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. It is indeed a great pleasure to listen to our great guest, Engineer Khalid Al Faleh, very candid response to my all colleagues. Combined together, he covered everything. And my compliments to you, Excellency, that perhaps you have also curtailed my speech as well. Thank you very much indeed. It is indeed a distinct honor and privilege to welcome you all, dear brothers, from Saudi Arabia in Islamabad, which is, I would call, your own home. I won't use the word second home. This is your own home. This occasion marks yet another chapter in the enduring friendship and strategic partnership between our two brotherly countries. Pakistan and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have a deep-rooted, time-tested relationship. This bond, enriched by shared history, faith, and values, holds a significant place in Pakistan's foreign policy. The people of Pakistan have always held the custodian of the two holy mosques and the Honorable Crown Prince, His Royal Highness, and the leadership of Saudi Arabia in the highest esteem. I would like to take this opportunity to express our profound gratitude to the Saudi leadership for their unwavering support on multiple occasions. The latest being, as explained by my colleague, Finance Minister of Pakistan, in the recent challenge we had as a country vis-a-vis multilateral institutions. We remain firmly committed to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and stand ready, shoulder to shoulder, with our Saudi brothers and sisters through thick and thin. We are thankful for the welfare and the hospitality which is extended to the over 2.5 million Pakistani diaspora who call Saudi Arabia their own home and are also contributing to the economy and the development of Saudi Arabia, as well as making huge foreign exchange remittances to Pakistan, which certainly helps to reach the current account deficit and the fiscal deficit issues which Pakistan had faced in the past. We gather here at a pivotal moment in the history of our bilateral cooperation. As His Excellency mentioned, that in Ramadan Sharif, soon after the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif government took office, we visited for Umrah. And Excellency, when we came back from Medina Munawwara, because we landed in Medina Munawwara, there was an invitation that before iftar, we join His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. Now, there was a debate between our team, the Foreign Office, that whether we should wear in ihram. I said, nothing doing. This is the best dress you can have. So we will go in ihram. So as very rightly His Excellency mentioned, that we went in ihram to the Crown Prince Palace, and we had wonderful iftari as well as mutual dialogue, which ended up around Fajr with a joint communique for $5 billion. In addition to previous commitments, I'm clarifying, Excellency, you have a bigger trawl, because I was involved after Tahajjud in the guest palace, and we had communication by my very dear brother Prince Faisal and his team, and the ambassadors were shuttling between the Crown Prince Palace and the guest palace where we were staying. So, Excellency, I think we have a great opportunity, and your visit, Excellency, with a huge delegation alongside the officials and the business leaders of Saudi Arabia is a testament to our shared vision and underscores the enduring partnership between our two nations. Excellency, I would also like to highlight Pakistan's journey toward economic recovery. My colleague, Finance Minister, has thrown light. After continuous and concerted efforts, we are now on the road to sustainable growth. We had challenges, undoubtedly, but Excellency, it is not too old story. I'm talking 2017. This country had reached the 24th economy of the world. And the best economic indicators we demonstrated: 4% inflation, less than 2% food inflation, 6% GDP growth, highest foreign exchange reserves still not broken, and all the indicators were at best. And we were moving with a speed to join G20, a country which is nuclear, a country which is missile power, only needs to be economically strong. And this was the journey we were trying to make on double effort to reach the G20 in next few years. But unfortunately, certain elements, external and internal, and coupled by COVID, the pandemic, this journey was derailed. So we are back. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif made double efforts during his last tenure, 22-23, and now the focus is total economy, that we should go back to our goal of joining G20. And I think working together, I think it is not an impossible task. Our new homegrown program, supported by the EFF facility, which Honorable Finance Minister mentioned, on 25th of September, makes a significant departure from our past. The idea is to regain the macroeconomic stability we had gained by 2016-17, and then build and consolidate our gains, what we achieve by then, in order to have a sustainable growth and be as possible as, as soon we can join the old dream of our leadership, Mia Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, to join the G20 Economic Club of the world. A strategy revolves around reforms aimed at promoting productivity and competitiveness, fostering both domestic and external competition, and creating space for private investment. We are right-sizing the role of the state, reforming state-owned enterprises, and improving the quality of public services, spending on infrastructure with fast speed. This structural reforms effort is being contemplated by the commitment of sound macroeconomic policies. The stable exchange rate is now functioning as a key factor in aligning market conditions as our economic indicators have improved. Furthermore, monetary policy is focused on bringing inflation down, and State Bank of Pakistan has predicted that we would reach not too far away between 5 to 7%. It's already, as Finance Minister shared with you, 6.9% as compared to high 30s just a year and a half ago. We have taken steps to ensure that our economic revival agenda is supported by a sustained effort to strengthen tax administration with broadening of the tax base. Despite the difficult and often unpopular decisions which has been taken by Muhammad Nawaz Sharif's government so far, these reforms are already yielding positive results. Economic indicators are moving in the right direction. Inflation has come down substantially. Our credit rating has shown improvement, and the current account deficit is narrowing, as shared by the Finance Minister. These achievements not only signify a turning point for Pakistan, but also make our economy a more attractive and stable environment for foreign investment and partnerships. Pakistan, with the vast natural resources, dynamic talent pool, and commitment to sustainable development efforts, offers a wide range of investment opportunities in Pakistan. We are actively fostering innovation, enhancing our infrastructure, and streamlining the regulatory framework to create an investment-friendly environment. I think my colleague, Dr. Musaddiq Malik, has amply explained, and His Excellency heard from no other than Army Chief last night, from red tapeism to red carpet. So this is the main key agenda of this government, that the government should be out of business. There is a huge exercise undergoing to privatize the state-owned enterprises, which are not strategically required. It's a number is about few dozens. Maybe in due course, many Saudi Arabian investors would like to consider one of these enterprises are offered for privatization. In the mining, Pakistan boasts an expensive and rich, as detail shared by my colleague, copper, gold, and rare earth metals. We invite Saudi investors and brothers to explore these opportunities and become part of the mutually beneficial venture. The Excellency, the estimated reserves, the value of these mines and minerals, including garnite, is over 10,000 billion US dollars. Sometime people worry about Pakistan debt. Debt and liabilities are external debt 130 billion US dollars as compared to our reserves, natural resources, 10,000 billion dollars, 10 trillion. So you can, compare the numbers and see the potential. Our IT sector, supported by thriving startup ecosystem and a highly skilled workforce, presenting unique opportunities for investors to be part of this digital transformation journey. And Excellency, understand on 11th tomorrow, you would be visiting NESTAC, and you will be amazed to see, the development Pakistan has taken in the IT sector. It is mainly led by the Air Force authorities, and they have really put up a great job throughout Pakistan. In agriculture and livestock, Pakistan fertile lands and extensive waterways produce a diverse range of crops and goods for both local and global markets. These sectors offer immense potential for investment and collaboration. Moreover, our commitment to renewable energy is unwavering. With strong government initiatives, we aim to achieve 60% clean energy capacity by 2030, offering lucrative opportunities in solar, hydroelectric, and other renewable energy sectors. Excellency, as you mentioned that the Army Chief shared with you, the possibility of Pakistan to be, providing and a food security, provider. It is a reality. We have vast lands which are cultivable with certain modern technology, and his team is already working with SIFC and the government relevant quarters on the agriculture. I think there are 4 areas where we have a great potential: IT, mines and minerals, agriculture, and food security elements. So let me assure you that your visit, Excellency, marks a significant milestone in our bilateral relations. We look forward to the signing of multiple memorandums of understanding, and thank you for the valuable participation of yourself, your team, your Vice Minister, and Excellencies and the business delegations who are here. I may be missing the historic MOU ceremony. I was just sharing with Excellency, the Investment Minister of Saudi Arabia, that I am being asked to accompany our President of Pakistan to Turkmenistan for an official visit of just a day, but it's their 30 years constitution celebrations. So if I get leave, I'll be happy to join. But otherwise, I'm sure my prayers and my duas will be with you for all the success to you and your delegates. Excellency, the MOUs include, I understand, wide range of sectors, mainly semiconductors, energy, livestock, manpower, and IT. These MOUs are a result of dedicated follow-up by Your Excellency and your side and our side, public and private sector entities, of the direction given by the leadership of both countries, which you very kindly mentioned. We hope that the signing of these MOUs will usher a new era of cooperation between our private sectors. I would also like to commend the honorable members of the Saudi delegations for their commitment to do business in Pakistan. These engagements will pave the way for fruitful discussions and agreements, and inshallah will further strengthen our strategic partnership, which is already very, very brotherly, close partnership in the areas of economic areas, trade, security, defense, and all cultural, all areas. We are working very closely. But I think with your guidance, your help, and your leadership qualities, I'm sure we can reach to a new strategic highest level, ever high in the history of both countries. Excellency, we are eagerly anticipating the visit of His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince and the Prime Minister, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, to Pakistan. And as you very kindly mentioned, that the visit had been scheduled, but because of certain unavoidable medical reasons of the king at that time, mashallah, he's doing quite well. He's fully recovered. So this visit was, temporarily postponed. So we are all as a nation looking forward, to the visit of His Royal Highness at his earliest possible, opportunity. This visit will not only further strengthen and and put a strong bond in our strategic partnership, but will also pave the way for more collective efforts in various sectors we are jointly looking, Excellency. Once again, I extend to you, Excellency, and your delegation a very warm welcome to Pakistan, and I wish you a very pleasant stay. It's a very brief stay. I think you should plan, in consultation with your old colleague, Dr. Musaddiq Malik, some break in Pakistan. He showed you the mountains, he lured you and your delegation. There's a wonderful places in Pakistan which you will never, you will forget Switzerland. And it's such a organic beauty there, untempered, that you will love to then, repeating your visits to Pakistan, I can assure you. And let me tell you, Excellency, also, this country's economy has a great resilience. We have shown, demonstrated, when we were declared macroeconomic unstable country in 2013, early 2013, the general election had to take place, and we were told this country will get out of the quagmire in 12 to 15 years. And no matter which political party would win, it will take that long period to deal with the challenges. Nobody believed it's only 3 years. Under the leadership of Pakistan Muslim League Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, and now his successor is Prime Minister Muhammad Shahbaz Sharif. And it was only 3 years to reach from the macroeconomic unstable place to 24th global economy. Now, this is the resilience this country has and its economy has. So, working together, there's a great potential. I talk even broader. The Ummah, the 57 countries, if they work together, they have everything which they require to be the world global power. So, I think we need more coordination, more cooperation. As ex officio chairman of Islamic Development Bank in 1998, I triggered a work that we should do, and I shared with my colleague Jam Kamal Sahab, Commerce Minister, that what the Islamic countries import from outside 57 countries and what do they export to outside 57 countries. If you can profile, you have a great future, I tell you. And Pakistan only requires an increase of maybe $15 to $20 billion to be all time to come to get rid of any multilateral support. So let me assure you, Excellency, that Pakistan is a great potential, and I'm a personal witness because I've been in politics since early 90s. I've been investment. By the way, I'm the founder of the investment board in Pakistan. That was my first responsibility in 92, 93. Minister of State for Investment, and now SIFC is part of Board of Investment, and General Sarfraz is doing with his team a wonderful job to provide one window of facilitation. So let me tell you, Excellency, that we have a great scope to work together, to take a partnership to a very ever high level. And I wish you a very pleasant stay, your delegation, and I'm sure together our countries, working together to thrive, benefit not only for the two nations, but also contribute to the global and regional peace, stability, development, and prosperity. As we embark on this journey together, I assure you of Pakistan's commitment to work closely with our brother Saudi Arabia to turn our shared vision into a reality. And I'm personal witness to the generosity, to the hospitality, to the cooperation in the all areas by the Saudi Arabian leadership in the last at least 4 decades, around 4 decades I have been involved. So I wholeheartedly once again thank you and thank your delegation. I wish you all the best and look forward to be interacting with you more frequently. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, brotherhood. I will not say friendship. Brotherhood, Zindabad.
Thank you very much, Senator Muhammad Ishaq Dar, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Islamic Republic of Pakistan. You rightly reiterated the deep-rooted, the time-tested friendship between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, the brotherhood that we share. You also mentioned the structural specific